recruiters, Jennifer Tardy here, your diversity recruiting leader, and I'm back with episode number 9. I am here to teach you absolutely everything that you need to know about diversity recruiting except those ridiculous Boolean string search codes. So in today's video, I am here to teach you those people that must be in place in order for you to have an absolutely dynamite diversity recruiting model. These groups are a must-have as it relates to partnerships. So this is one of the diversity recruitment best practices from an earlier video that I told you that I'm going to come back and dive a bit deeper into. Today's the big day. Okay, and don't forget to stay tuned all the way through until the very end, because I'm going to share with you my favorite segment, which is Diversity Recruiter 911, where you ask, I answer. You send in your questions and I answer them in this video. So I don't want to waste any more time. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so in your current department, whose buy-in do you already have in place? And how is that working for you? So I'm going to actually share with you the list of whose buy-in you need to have. Keep in mind that this is in addition to your diversity and inclusion team, because that's an obvious buy-in that you're going to need in order to make this model work. Also, as another disclaimer, these folks that I'm going to talk about as we go through this video, it's in no particular order of importance. However, I may mention or emphasize a few of them. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, so buy-in tribe member number 1, human resources. Now, I know you may be thinking, duh, I'm in recruiting. We already have HR's buy-in. No. Now, just because you're in recruiting and specifically diversity recruitment, you need to make sure that you don't feel like an island on your own where it's just you and your manager, because that can often be the case sometimes if your title is actually a diversity recruiter or if your title is a recruiter. So if your title is actually a diversity recruiter, you need to make sure that you have a good partnership with the other recruiters on your team so that there are trade-offs, that you're helping to educate them, and they're helping to educate you. You guys can just leverage each other. Plus, from an HR standpoint, you want to make sure that you have buy-in and partnership, great partnerships with your HR business partners, if you have those on the team, or HR generalists, those who are facing the actual business, and because oftentimes they can help to support you, to help to get you a seat at the table in those meetings within the business. And if you're not there to be able to have a seat at the table, they're the ones that are still a proponent, whether you're at the table or not. So making sure that human resources is a part of your tribe. Buy-in tribe number 2, senior leadership. And I mean the senior leadership within your organization. It's not, if I had to select whose buy-in is most important, I would start by saying senior leaders, because they are the decision makers, the policy makers in the organization. They form the initiatives in the organization. And if none of them have anything to do around increasing diversity in the workplace, you are going to have an uproar battle ahead of you. But it's not in just having their buy-in, but it's really about in recognizing how impactful it's going to be against you if you don't have their buy-in, if they're working against the work that you are trying to do overall. Now, if the senior leaders within the organization are unable to see how diversity recruitment, or more specifically, increasing workplace diversity, how it positively affects the bottom line of the organization, you will have some trouble in your organization. So it's one great thing that if they can understand it, it's the second great thing if they are able to easily articulate that to the rest of the organization. The rest of the organization is looking at the senior leaders for where to go next, and the things that they care about matters. So they will have to first care about increasing workplace diversity. So having their buy-in and their partnership is very, very high on that list. A question for you. If you are a current recruiter, maybe even a recruiting leader, and you don't feel that you have those partnerships with your senior leadership team yet, why do you think that is? What do you think has prevented a solid partnership from happening? I'm curious. Let me know. Drop me a line in the comment section below and let's start a conversation. Buy-in tribe member number 3. All of the hiring managers. Now, that's one of the biggest challenges in leading a recruitment team that I've seen in the past, that the senior leaders are on board, the HR team is on board, but the buy-in hasn't necessarily trickled down to the actual hiring managers. And here's why you must have the buy-in of hiring managers, because oftentimes they're the ones making the selection decision. And if they don't have a firm understanding of how diversity positively affects the bottom line in an organization, how it positively affects initiatives within the organization, then they're not, if they're making the selection decision, it's probably going to be in the opposite of increasing workplace diversity. And they're the ones that are also on the front line of making these decisions. So having them on the team, making sure that they're true partners, will be excellent to you and your initiative moving forward to help to increase workplace diversity overall. Now, to keep best practice momentum going, I know that I'm using this video to dive deeply into one particular best practice, but have you checked out the first video that we ever created for this channel that talks about diversity recruitment best practices? If you haven't, check out that video because it's going to share with you a load of best practices that you should consider as you're setting up your diversity recruiting model within your organization. Buy-in tribe member number 4. Any other stakeholders. And so remember that stakeholders are the people that get highly affected by any of the decisions that come into the organization. So these are people like your board of directors. These are people that are key clients that care about workplace diversity. And so being able to have their partnerships as well can go far in helping you to be able to have a voice and to have a really, really good, strong, sustainable diversity recruiting model in your organization by having them on board as well. And if you don't feel comfortable or are unsure of how to begin to build those relationships, then leverage someone in the HR business partner group within your org, or begin talking to your manager and your manager's manager about how you can build some of those relationships too. Okay, so now we're at my exciting segment called Diversity Recruiter 911, where you get to ask your awesome questions and I get to answer. So today's question is, as a recruiter, should I care about retention? Okay, so recruiters typically are only paying attention to recruiting, the people that we bring into the organization. So this question from a recruiter is saying, should I care about retention? And my answer is hell yes, you should care about retention. And then one of the reasons why you should care about retention is because the retention program could be negating all of the work that you're doing in your recruiting program. So you can keep bringing people into the organization, but if the organization isn't retaining these fine individuals that you're bringing in, you are going to continue to have to keep bringing in more people into the organization. And so you should really care, enough to the point where you have some sort of seat at the table as retention conversations or retention strategies and initiatives are underway within your organization too. So I love this question. You sure as hell should care. And some of these relationships that you're going to be building over time will be the key people who will help you to have a seat at the table when they're talking about things like retention. Another thing that I do want to share with you too, as a bonus to building these relationships, oftentimes there are going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations that you are going to need to have as a recruiter with the people that you're bringing into this tribe. And the best way to have these uncomfortable conversations is if you have the right relationships with these people, specifically senior leaders, specifically hiring managers as well. So if a hiring manager is making a decision, and let's say you're noticing a level of bias in their decision making, without that relationship, the more you're going to feel uncomfortable addressing this bias, and it's necessary to address it, and the more offended that they may become or unwilling to hear your answer without that good relationship behind the scenes. So make sure that you're building these solid relationships overall, because they are going to be necessary to move your recruitment model forward. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video because I know that you want to do your best work. And I also know that in order for you to give your best work, you have to feel supported. And the best way to feel supported is to have the right buy-in. So I hope that these tools will help you to have the right buy-in overall with the work that you're doing. And so to that end, I want to offer you a special gift. If you haven't already downloaded it, please download it today. Look and click the link in the details section. It's a guide, 10 innovative ways to increase workplace diversity without those ridiculous Boolean string searches. And so that is my gift to you. I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, so this week we discussed who must be a part of your tribe, but next week's video is all about what must be in place first to make diversity recruiting work. And so I am Jennifer Tardy. I am your add-on diversity recruiting leader. I will see you in the next video. Hey recruiters, if you like this video, we have others coming your way each Thursday. So subscribe to our channel and click the bell to be notified as new videos get posted. Don't forget, leave us your recruiter questions for a chance to be spotlighted in an upcoming video. Don't forget about our other channel for job seekers. And as always, in order for our workplaces to be underrepresented no more, we all have to listen, engage, apply, repeat, now, learn. I'll talk to you next time.